Einar, a dog who had once been left to die on the streets of Nalchik, was barely recognizable when he was found. His hind legs were dragging behind him, bloodied and scraped raw from the pavement. But when Natalia, the rescuer who found him, rushed him to the clinic, they discovered something that shocked everyone. What did the doctors discover next? And how did Einar defy the odds? Stay tuned for today's story on pets and love and find out more. After days of tireless work, Natalia was feeling the weight of it all. Her team at Husky Help had been stretched to their limits, overwhelmed by the influx of new cases, many with severe injuries and difficult medical needs. The emotional and financial toll had left her feeling drained. She needed a moment of quiet, a brief escape to regain her strength. So she stepped outside for a walk, hoping that the cool air would offer her some relief. As she wandered through the streets, the exhaustion in her bones made every step feel heavier. She paused for a moment, closing her eyes, trying to collect herself. That's when she heard the soft, distressed sound, a whimper that cut through the stillness. Curious and cautious, Natalia followed the sound, her heart sinking as she moved toward it. There, lying on the side of the road, was a dog. He was thin, covered in dirt, and his legs dragged uselessly behind him. His eyes, wide and terrified, locked onto Natalia's, filled with confusion and fear. The dog trembled, trying to move but unable to do so. At first glance, Natalia thought it might be a spinal injury, but as she looked closer, she saw something worse. His head was swollen and his legs broken. It should be a car accident, she thinks. The wounds were not just physical. There was a deep, silent sorrow in his eyes. He was not just hurt, he was broken, terrified, and alone. Natalia knelt beside him slowly, extending a hand trying to comfort the frightened dog. She gathered all the strength she had and, with the help of her team, carefully got the injured dog to safety. His name was now Einar. When they finally arrived at the clinic, the team was already waiting for them. Natalia rushed inside with Einar, her heart heavy with the uncertainty of what they would find. The clinic was familiar, a place that had become their sanctuary for countless other rescues. But this time, the weight of the situation felt even more pressing. Dr. Imran, the clinic's lead vet, was ready to assess Einar immediately. He gently examined him, speaking calmly to the frightened animal as he checked for injuries. He's been through a lot. Natalia stood quietly beside him, watching closely as the vet worked. Einar winced at certain touches, his body stiff with fear and pain, but he didn't resist. He seemed to understand that these hands were here to help him. His legs seemed to be the most concerning, Dr. Imran noted, lifting Einar's hindquarters gently. "It's possible, doctor," Imran replied thoughtfully. As the vet prepared to take the first set of x-rays, Natalia took a deep breath, her mind swirling with what-ifs. She glanced down at Einar, who was now lying still, exhausted but trusting. The pain in his eyes was still there, but there was a faint glimmer of something else too. Something that made Natalia believe, for the first time, that maybe, just maybe, this dog had a chance. She reached out and gently stroked his head, trying to reassure him. "You're strong," she whispered. Einar's eyes flickered up to her, a moment of quiet understanding passing between them. It was a small thing, but it gave Natalia hope. As Dr. Imran left to arrange the x-rays, she stayed by Einar's side, her heart set on one simple goal: to give him the care and the future he deserved. As the x-rays were taken, Natalia waited anxiously in the clinic's small waiting room. Her fingers drummed nervously on the edge of the seat, her thoughts constantly drifting back to Einar. She couldn't shake the image of him when they first found him, so broken, so terrified. He had been through so much, and she feared that the results of the tests might confirm her worst fears. Dr. Imran soon entered, his expression serious, but not without a flicker of hope. He had the x-ray results in hand, and Natalia stood immediately, her heart pounding in her chest. "Einar's spine is intact," Dr. Imran began, his voice steady. "There's no fracture, no displacement, That's a relief. But there's something else. Natalia's breath caught in her throat as she took a step forward. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "The issue with his hind legs isn't related to a break in the spine. The x-rays show that the problem seems to be from compression somewhere along the spinal cord. We'll need to dig deeper, possibly with an MRI, to figure out exactly what's causing the paralysis. There's also a chance that this could be caused by a tumor or some kind of growth." A tumor? The word echoed in Natalia's mind. She wasn't sure what to feel. Relief that the injury wasn't as bad as she had feared, or fear that the worst might still be ahead. "Let's do the MRI, whatever it takes." Natalia said the MRI results came back late that evening. Dr. Imran looked over the images with a furrowed brow, but there was a small sigh of relief when he finally turned to Natalia. "There's a tumor," he said, "between the 7th and 8th thoracic vertebrae. It's pressing on the spinal cord, which explains the paralysis in his hind legs. But there's also some good news. We can operate. It's risky, but it's the only way we can give him a chance." The surgery was scheduled for the following morning, and as the clinic team prepped Einar, Natalia remained close, holding his head in her lap and softly stroking his fur. She whispered words of comfort, even though she knew he likely couldn't understand. But she couldn't leave him. She couldn't abandon him now. When the surgery started, Dr. Imran and his staff worked very hard. It was between the 7th and 8th thoracic vertebrae, and the growth was very deep in the spine. The team stayed focused on the process for more than 2 hours. Finally, when the surgery was over, Dr. Imran emerged from the operating room, looking exhausted but determined. "The tumor is out," he said. "It wasn't easy, but we were able to remove it successfully. The good news is, it wasn't malignant. It was a benign chondrosarcoma. The bad news is, some of it was left behind, and it's possible the tumor could grow back. But for now, he's stable." Natalia's breath caught in her throat. The relief of hearing that the surgery had gone well was overshadowed by the knowledge that the tumor could return. But for now, Einar was alive, and that was all that mattered. Over the next few days, Einar's recovery began. Slowly, but steadily, he started to show signs of improvement. He could still barely move his hind legs, but they twitched occasionally, a sign that the spinal cord wasn't entirely damaged. His body was weak from the trauma, but there was a spark of life in him that kept Natalia hopeful. By the end of the week, the clinic decided to try something new. A cutting-edge microchip was implanted in Einar's spine, a device designed to stimulate nerve endings and help him regain control over his hind legs. It was an experimental treatment, but the potential was enormous. The team was cautiously optimistic. They knew this could make the difference between Einar walking again and remaining paralyzed. The microchip sent electrical impulses to his legs, encouraging movement and stimulating the nerves that had been dormant for so long. For the first few days, Einar showed little response, but Natalia refused to give up on him. She stayed by his side, helping him with physical therapy and encouraging him with every step. Then, one morning, something remarkable happened. Einar's hind legs, which had been completely limp just a week before, started to twitch. First, it was a small movement, a slight flick of his paw, but it was enough to fill Natalia with hope. The microchip was working. Slowly, his legs began to regain movement, and soon after, Einar was able to pull them under him, trying to stand. It was a victory. A small one, but a victory nonetheless. Every day, he made more progress. Einar was learning to move his legs again, and with each new step, his confidence grew. His pain was easing, and the spark in his eyes was becoming brighter. But the road ahead was still long. Einar would need further rounds of chemotherapy to ensure that the cancer didn't return. The metastases in his lungs, although currently under control, required constant monitoring. There were no guarantees. Einar's future was still uncertain. But in that moment, watching him take his first few steps, Natalia knew one thing for sure. Einar wasn't done fighting.
He had already come so far, and now he was determined to go even further. As the weeks went by, the recovery kept going. With each step, Einar got stronger, and his body got back more control over how it works. The microchip was once very important, but as Einar did more and more things by himself, it became less important. He didn't need the device as much to move his legs anymore. His behind was getting stronger again. He could walk and even run again. Days passed, and Einar's condition improved. He stood, then walked, and eventually ran. The dog who had once crawled through the streets of Nalchik, paralyzed by the weight of his injuries, was now leaping, running, and even jumping. He had defied the odds, not just through the medical care he received, but through his unyielding spirit. Natalia watched him, a deep sense of gratitude filling her heart. He was alive, he was living, and he was fighting every day for the life he so desperately wanted to continue. Eventually, the moment came when Einar was ready to go home. The clinic had become a place of healing, but it wasn't where he belonged. He needed a family, a place where he could be loved and cared for without the constant worry of what tomorrow might bring. It was time for Einar to find a permanent home. It didn't take long. Einar's journey had touched many hearts, and soon a family came forward, ready to offer him the love and comfort he had always deserved. Einar's new home was filled with warmth and happiness. He was no longer the broken dog they had found on the streets of Nalchik. He was a survivor. He was whole again. And as he ran in the snow for the first time, free and full of life, Natalia knew she had made the right choice. Einar had found his second chance at life. That's the end of the story today. What do you think about Einar's journey? Do you believe in the power of second chances? Share your thoughts and stories with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Pets in Love, for more incredible rescue stories that highlight the power of kindness and the life-changing impact of a second chance. Thank you for joining us today. See you in the next video.